I keep hearing the same old mantras. We need behavioral shift, collaboration and teamwork, productivity and engagement, focus on business goals. Everyone already agrees with you. The real question is how, exactly, practically. What really matters in people's behavior are the choices they make every second, consciously or not, while acting, interacting, and making decisions. One choice may not matter that much, but together, all those choices actually bring your company to success or failure. When you target behavioral change, you can't simply order it. So, what should you do instead? The internet is full of advice. Train people on psychological safety, emotional intelligence, teach leadership, teamwork, and feedback. Definitely, training helps fill knowledge gaps. Luckily, great trainers exist and people learn very well. But then they go back to work and what happens? They use buzzwords, refer to the declared corporate values, and use tools probably, but when you dig deeper and look at the choices people make while acting, interacting, and making decisions, you barely see a difference. They talk teamwork while chasing hidden agendas. They preach business goals while quietly choosing the path that boosts their own department's KPIs, yet not the best for business. They punish mistakes people openly share by, for instance, negatively influencing raises and promotions, yet explain it in ways that seem not to violate psychological safety. It's a new wrapping, but the same old behaviors underneath. Another common tip: leaders should show the proper culture through their own behaviors. Absolutely, strong leaders with charisma can inspire. Their example is very important. But the deeper you go in the hierarchy, the weaker that influence becomes. And remember, the choices leaders make are only partially visible. Much stays hidden, so people copy the visible part, while their true choices remain unchanged. A very common example from my personal experience. A fintech company trained everyone on teamwork. Top management gave speeches, lower management reinforced the message, and in training, people learned what was declared as good behavior. Hold each other accountable, support opinions even when unpopular, and challenge ideas even when they are supported by the majority. But just a week later, they discovered that, as with most behavioral changes, applying this in real life was uncomfortable. Worse, many of those whom they were supposed to challenge and hold accountable had strong influence over their careers and salaries. It was also hard to hold accountable people in other teams and departments, as those had their own KPIs to achieve. So, while still supporting that declared culture in speeches, most people quickly returned to old behaviors, because in those work conditions, the old ways better served personal needs. So, is real change impossible? Not at all. As John Seddon said, culture is a product of the system. Change the system, behaviors change. People don't change just because you tell them to. They change when the system makes new behaviors the most useful for them to achieve what matters most to them. Structures, processes, and roles, the distribution of authority and responsibility determines who we build closer relationships with, whose goals we share, whose opinions matter more. It all shapes what actually drives our choices. But it goes far beyond that. HR policies and practices, formal and informal recognition, salaries and promotions, these are extremely strong levers for many people. In every moment, we choose actions that help us get recognized, rewarded, paid, and promoted. If old behaviors are more useful to achieve those, people stick with the old. So here's the truth: you can change behavior, but never with training or leadership examples alone. They matter, but only when they support the whole organizational system designed to drive behaviors you target for your business. Here's a simple approach. Define the target behaviors, find what drives or prevents people from choosing these behaviors in your unique organizational context. Redesign the organizational system, not only org charts, processes and roles, but also management functions, HR policies and processes, including the criteria for performances, raises and promotions. Prepare everyone, including proper leadership, provide the necessary training and adopt hiring checks. Execute the change and support people in their new reality. Monitor and analyze the actual choices people make, not just the easily visible way people behave. Reiterate if necessary. Stop relying just on training or showing examples. If you want real change, redesign the whole organizational system so new behaviors become the natural choice for people to achieve what truly matters to them.